Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to show you all a super simple 30-minute or less dinner. Nothing fancy, but that is what I like. I like to keep it real around here because I do work obviously full time and nobody has time to spend like an hour on dinner. So I actually posted this meal on my Instagram this week, so I'm going to show you all what you need to make. So like I mentioned, nothing fancy. Tonight we are having salmon, and I like to buy the wild caught frozen from Aldi. You can just find this in the frozen section. So it comes in like little individual packages, so that makes it really nice because you can just pull out how much you want to use. So I have 3 pieces in here. Tyler usually eats 2, I ate 1. So those have been thawing out all day. I just set them in there this morning because they were in the freezer, and then now they're thawed out and ready to use. So with our salmon, you always want to have a vegetable, and I'm actually fixing one of my favorites, Brussels sprouts. So I like to just cut these in half, and I roast them in some olive oil, and then some salt and pepper. And then I'll probably throw some garlic powder in there. I'm about out, so I'll put some of that on there. For the salmon, I'm going to bake it in the oven along with roasting the Brussels sprouts in the oven at 400. But I was gonna make the salmon like a lemon pepper. I have some lemon that is about to go bad and just some lemon pepper seasoning that I'm gonna use on top for the salmon. And I've got my veggie and my protein source, so now I need a good carb. So I'm going to use some of this 90-second rice. This is quinoa and brown rice. I love 90-second rice. It just makes meals so much easier. You just pop it in the microwave and it's ready in 90 seconds. So that is going to be our dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 400. Chop up my Brussels sprouts, and I will cook my Brussels sprouts probably total for 25 minutes. The salmon will honestly cook in like 10 minutes because it's super thin, so it's not going to take as long as like other kind of salmon that has the skin and everything on there. So I will cook my Brussels sprouts first and then throw my salmon probably on the same pan. But I do have this air, I was trying to see if it was near. It's like a pan that, it's called an air bake, I think, but it gets my veggies super crispy. So actually I'll probably roast the Brussels sprouts on that and then do the salmon on a separate baking sheet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get things started, but I will show you all step by step, and hopefully this will be a 30-minute or less dinner. So let's get started. So I got my Brussels sprouts cut in half, and now I'm going to add some olive oil, salt and pepper, and some garlic powder. And I have mentioned this before in another video, I think, but adding some kind of fat, especially to your veggies, is going to be very beneficial. So vegetables contain what are called fat-soluble vitamins, which are vitamin A, D, E, and K. So in order for our body to absorb the most out of those nutrients, we need some fat. So don't be afraid of fat when cooking vegetables. I personally love roasting veggies in olive oil or avocado oil. If you are cooking at a higher temperature, you would want to use some avocado oil because it has a higher smoke point. Whereas olive oil, you might notice your oven gets a little smoky if you're trying to cook at a really high temperature. So since I'm cooking at 400, I'm just going to use some olive oil. So yes, I always add olive oil to my vegetables, and also when you cook them like that, it makes them so much tastier. A lot of times, patients will tell me that they hate vegetables, but my first question is, how do you prepare them? It's all about how you prepare the veggies for you to enjoy them. I personally think steamed Brussels sprouts are disgusting, so I prefer roasting them. And adding that olive oil and a little bit of like salt and pepper really kind of gives it that caramelized taste, which is delicious. So I did decide that I'm going to cook them on my ratchet little air bake pan that I have, just because they cook so much crispier, and then I'll cook the salmon on something separate. So when you are roasting your veggies, like I mentioned, you want to use something like the olive oil and avocado, because these are what's called unsaturated fats. If you were using something like vegetable oil, it would contain what is called free radicals, which when that is heated to a high temperature and you consume it in your body, it could in turn create inflammation. So nobody wants that going on. So using these kind of oils help decrease that inflammation in your body, and they are more of a heart healthy type of oil. So if you're roasting veggies, always try and choose like a olive oil or avocado oil. And on this bottle right here, you can see what I was talking about, where it says it has a high smoke point. So that is what you would want to use if you were using a temperature that was really high. So now that I've got my Brussels sprouts cut, I'm just gonna slice up some lemon to top on the salmon. So for the salmon, I cut up some lemon slices, and I'm just going to use this lemon pepper seasoning. I will say a lot of times when I make salmon, I will actually use everything seasoning. If you have not tried it on salmon, it is delicious. So that would be another option if you don't really like lemon pepper, or of course any of your other favorite seasonings. So I'm going to throw my Brussels sprouts in first, and then I'll set my timer to 25 minutes, and then I'll throw my salmon in when the Brussels sprouts have like 10 to 15 minutes left to cook. So now I'm just going to go ahead and throw my rice in the microwave, because the rest of dinner is almost ready. So you could also use cook regular quinoa or brown rice. You could do like sweet potatoes or red potatoes or something like that as your starch. But this is easy, 90 seconds, so anything to make a meal easier through the work week is good by me, so I like to buy these. I haven't tried this kind yet. I just found it at Aldi this week, hoping it's here to stay. It was in the other section that they have their other ready rices at, so I'll let y'all know how it tastes. So this is what it looks like when it's all plated up. Got the crispy Brussels sprouts. Seriously, if you haven't tried roasting them or ever ate the little crispy leaves, you're missing out. They taste so good. And then I got my salmon on top of the rice. So got half my plate with veggies and got some good complex carbohydrates and some protein. So this is a really easy dinner. Again, you could replace it with like chicken or whatever vegetable, but that's a good thing about using like the plate method when you're planning your dinners. As long as you have like a vegetable and incorporating at least like half of your plate with vegetables with a fourth of like some kind of whole grain or carbohydrate, complex carb, and then some protein, it makes for a balanced meal. So that is an example of like a quick 30-minute or less weeknight dinner. So that is it for the salmon. It cooks in less than 30 minutes, super simple ingredients. You've got your veggie, your protein, and your complex carbohydrate coming from the quinoa and the brown rice. So that is a easy, healthy dinner. And you could also use like another kind of fish if you don't like salmon, like tilapia. You could use chicken. So, you know, this is just a prime example of how dinner does not have to be complicated. I literally just took a veggie, a protein, and a starch. And really that's what I mainly try to do when I'm planning our dinner meals for the week. Just keep it simple and keep it basic. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat our dinner. But if you like this video, make sure to subscribe. I often do weekly Aldi hauls or grocery hauls and then some meals in between. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. See ya!